Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. Severe storms knocked down trees in several counties this afternoon and left more than 70,000 customers without power. We'll have more on the storm damage and hopefully some video from across the region tonight at 6. But the storms did push out the record-breaking heat. That's the good news. Meteorologist Cameron Aaron has the latest live from the Perry County Fair. Cameron?
Yeah, that's right, Steve. The weather has turned out to be pretty nice as we go into the rest of this evening. We're looking at sunshine here at the Perry County Park, not only here in Perry County, but across the mountains this evening. We are looking at some sunshine. Let's check out I-75 in Mount Vernon. We are looking at a mostly clear sky at the moment, and we are looking at that to continue as we go into this evening and into tonight. But check this out. Widespread tree and power line damage over portions of the mountains this morning and into the early afternoon. But the good news is we are looking to stay quiet as we go into the rest of this evening. Here is a look at Pinpoint Doppler, and we are dry at this hour. And like I mentioned, this dry weather is going to continue. Temperatures a little bit warmer as we go into this evening. We are in the lower 80s, but nowhere near the record heat that we were dealing with as we went through this work week. And as we go into the rest of this evening, those dew points a little bit elevated in the upper 60s. The good news, we are going to see cooler and drier air work into the mountains as we get into this weekend. Lows tonight falling into the lower 60s, maybe a stray shower, but most of us will be dry. Now, coming up, I have your complete forecast and your Father's Day weekend forecast in just a little bit. Steve?
All right, Cameron, thank you very much. Hundreds of LexArt Horse Mania horses are on display in Lexington. Samantha Valentino spoke to students from the Stewart Home and School about the project.
For a limited time, all 160 LexArt Horse Mania horses are on display in the same place.
It's a labor of love. I mean, I think that speaks for itself.
Students from the Stewart Home and School are some of the many people coming out for the Horse Mania preview today, and they told me they're excited to see all of the horses here, but that this one in particular is pretty special to them. Over the span of 3 months, the students worked together on their horse.
We wanted it to represent Stewart Home School in a couple of different ways.
And they called it Love in Any Language.
We thought that represented us both the cultural diversity that we have as well as the neurodiversity that we have.
Jennifer Zing is the visual arts director at Stewart Home and School, a private special needs boarding school.
And Jennifer is really a good art teacher. She opens doors for us we never knew existed.
Students say working on their horse has helped them to grow as artists.
It's kind of remarkable because I never painted before then, so just to see the growth like from then to now is pretty amazing.
Doing something like this was really interesting, and it changed what I thought about art.
Watching the horse transform from a blank canvas to a piece of art is a process they say they're proud to have been a part of.
It was really breathtaking to see it as this fresh new model, and then to see what it has become today. I mean, I remember it was just breathtaking to watch.
In Lexington, Samantha Valentino, WKYT.
Students work for months to prep their horses. For more information on Horse Mania, you can visit the lexarts.org site. A flyover in honor of Brigadier General Charles McGee was held Friday in Arlington, Virginia. McGee was among the last surviving members of the Tuskegee Airmen, who were the first black pilots in the U.S. military. He died in his sleep Sunday at the age of 102. McGee successfully completed more than 400 air combat missions in 3 wars during his time in the military, receiving numerous honors for his service, including the Congressional Gold Medal. And he was inducted into the National Aviation Hall of Fame in 2011. It hasn't exactly been friendly skies for the airline industry. On Friday, more than 1,000 U.S. flights were canceled due to storms along parts of the East Coast. That's according to FlightAware.com. The agency says the inclement weather grounded more than 1,700 planes on Thursday. The union that represents Delta Airlines pilots says its scheduling is unacceptable. Union reps for Southwest Airlines pilots say there aren't enough pilots to handle June's schedule. It's going to be a while before you can get ultra-fast mobile speed at airports. Mobile phone carriers have agreed to another delay rolling out 5G near them. This time, the delay is for an additional year. The problem is 5G has the capability to interfere with navigation equipment on airplanes. The Federal Aviation Administration says the new delay will give airlines time to replace that equipment or install filtering technology. President Joe Biden announced several new initiatives on climate, clean energy, and food security today. During a virtual meeting of the Major Economies Forum on Energy and Climate, the president called on global leaders to do more to slash methane leaks. The conference comes amid rising gas prices, and the president is blaming the Russian invasion of Ukraine for the disruption of the energy market. He's encouraging countries to ramp up production of zero-emissions vehicles.
Over the long run, we can remove the pain of volatile gas prices and reduce transportation emissions by putting more zero-emission cars on the road.
The president also addressed food shortages worldwide and issued a challenge to make fertilizer more accessible, adding that more than half of fertilizers do not reach the intended crop in developed countries, while low-income nations have difficulty even accessing fertilizer. With parents still scrambling to find baby formula, the Biden administration's Operation Fly formula flights ramped up this week to address the shortage. Today, shipments from overseas are expected to arrive in Ohio and Virginia, where Vice President Kamala Harris plans to greet the flight. Meanwhile, FDA officials say they're working with Abbott after their Michigan plant shut down again due to weather. CBS's Natalie Brand has more from Washington.
Today, Vice President Kamala Harris is meeting with transportation workers who are helping to get more baby formula to store shelves. At least 10 flights carrying foreign formula to the U.S. are scheduled this week, according to the Department of Health and Human Services.
We are pulling the full force of the federal government to ramp up production and to increase the supply of safe infant formula.
I kind of walk through the aisle and I'll look. I have never seen it empty like that. I have compassion for those who are struggling to find it.
Some experts say that struggle may not ease for some time, even as the Biden administration has secured commitments for more than 130 million bottles of formula in the past month.
I think that we'll still see tight availability at least through the end of the summer.
Adding to the troubles, the Michigan Abbott formula plant at the center of the crisis had to shut down again due to severe storms and flooding. The plant had just restarted production days ago, though it was previously shuttered since February due to concerns of contaminated formula.
This is an unfortunate setback and a reminder that natural weather events can cause unforeseen disruptions in supply chains.
This week, the head of the FDA told lawmakers his agency is in constant contact with Abbott's CEO and that officials are on site working with the company to get the facility back up and running as soon as possible. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
HHS Assistant Secretary Rachel Levine warns parents should not make their own formula at home, and she says accepting formula from strangers should only be a last resort, advising families to take caution to only accept donations that are sealed and without damage. Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, knowing all your options when paying for college is key. How you can open the door to all important college grants.
Cooler temperatures and lower humidity. That is the story this weekend. I have your full forecast coming up.